How's it going, everyone? Today I'm going to be talking about 5 Blazing Bash banners that I think we need for the 4th year of Naruto Blazing. I did a video on the Blazing Fest banners that I would like to see for the 4th year about a week and a half ago, so that was a lot of fun and you guys pretty much liked it a lot. And I'll be honest with you that Blazing Fest was more dear to my heart. Like, I always summon on Blazing Fest banners. Rarely have I ever summoned on Blazing Bash banners, honestly. Before I was even a YouTuber for Blazing, I hardly ever summoned on the Blazing Bash banners. It was always Blazing Fest for me. I like that more. And honestly, it sucks though to think that we might not even be getting Blazing Fest banners anymore. We haven't had one in quite a while, and honestly, I'm not sure if we'll even get any more. But with Blazing Bash, they gave us one not too long ago, so that's obviously still here. So with that said, I want to talk about the 5. Now with that said, I'm going to be doing the same thing I did back then, where I'm going to be showing you all of the units that we got for the 3rd year. That way we can exclude any of those, because similarly with the Blazing Fest, I do think it would be cool to get newer versions of some Blazing Bash units, but it's a little different when it comes to Blazing Bash, and I'll talk about that once we get to it. But with that said, we can go ahead and look at all the Blazing Bash units that we got for the 3rd year. Now this isn't going to be as filled in as it was with the Blazing Fest, because like I said, I don't summon on Blazing Bash too often, so I'm not going to have every single Blazing Bash unit, honestly. But starting right off at Anniversary, we had Sage 6 Pass Naruto, Rinnegan Sasuke, still really amazing units. Sasuke, he's kind of not really seen anymore. I still used him on my team until I got Killer B. Naruto, on the other hand, I wish I still had that man. He eluded me forever. Honestly, I don't really want him anymore, but he's still really good for a lot of people's teams, and you still see him to this day. And I mean, come on, it's Sage 6 Pass Naruto, Rinnegan Sasuke, the last dual Blazing Bash banner that I think we got, the very least for an anniversary period as well. After that, we got one of the worst Blazing Bash units in the game, Killer B. Nothing too crazy there. I ended up getting some of these units mostly from the Blazing Bash free multis. That's why you'll see these, because like I said, I don't summon on those banners. After that, we got Kabuto, so there was that. That was the Sage mode Kabuto, so there is that. Again, I might miss a little after that. I think after Kabuto, though, it was the next unit, which I did have. Yes, Tobirama, one of the most amazing Blazing Bash units in the game. He's fallen off compared to when he first came out, but there he is. Then we got Kaguya. So yeah, you can never go wrong with Kaguya, of course. And then right after New Year's, around that time, we got Sage mode Naruto, which is a really cool unit, really good at switch stealing. I have him and he's really, really great in that case. After that, it was Anbu Kakashi. Now Anbu Kakashi introduced something which was really cool, which was for PvP. It was already in PvE, but you could inflict the movement restriction, which was actually pretty annoying. It still is to this day. You see people running that. After that, Shisui, one of the best, if not the best Blazing Bash unit in my opinion to this day now, just because he has the fastest speed out of any Blazing Bash unit, and he's just really amazing. Can push back if you can get that ult. After that was Nagato, not too bad. After that, we got Itachi, not a bad unit. Again, I think I am missing a Blazing Bash unit in there, but I'm not sure about that. Actually, yes, I am missing one, the Pain. Tendo Pain. He's not here, but I know he's a really, really great unit. He has pushback. Everybody uses him because in the back row, he gives you a boost of speed, which is incredible, and he pushes back on his first jutsu. Being 3-6 is not bad, but after that, we did go ahead and get Itachi Uchiha right here, and Itachi is not a bad unit by any means. He's really fast, 430 speed. He's just really meant for damage, but after that, it was Itachi, and then coming closer to the last that we got before Anniversary was this Shikamaru, which was a really, really bad unit. I'm surprised they even made him as a Blazing Bash, honestly. But as you can see, yeah, those are all the ones. Nothing too crazy. Honestly, the best ones that we got were like Shisui, Tobirama, and I would say Kaguya, but Tobirama's not really an issue anymore. Kaguya's kind of been replaced by the 4th year anniversary Blazing Bash Madara, and Shisui is still very prevalent, but you can get away without him. So yeah, nothing too crazy, but let's go ahead and jump into the first unit that I want to go ahead and talk about. So if you've been watching me for a long time, there's no surprise that this unit is on the list. This is one of my favorite units, if not still my favorite unit in Naruto Blazing, just because he is KCM2 Minato. KCM2 Minato is amazing, one of my favorite versions of Minato, and even though this unit is extremely old and you can't really get away with him nowadays, even though some people do meme around with him in the PvP, no, we need a new one, and I've been holding hope out that we'll get a Blazing Fest one, but they don't seem like they want to do that, so I'll take a Blazing Bash one. Honestly, like, I would love that, to get a KCM2 Minato. That would be really, really great. I mean, the possibilities are endless. They really are. 3-6 chakra, pushback or something like that, it would be great. Maybe introduce it to where you can nullify pushback. Minato could definitely be a unit for that, although at this point we've been waiting on that since 2nd year anniversary and they still haven't given us any way to nullify pushback, so it's kind of a rip. But with that said, I would love to get a new version of it. I mean, it sucks though, because Blazing Fest has better artwork than Blazing Bash, so I would really love to see an updated version of this man for Blazing Fest. But at this point I think I'll just take a Blazing Bash one. I feel like he would fit in more there, just because Blazing Bash is all about speed and things of that nature, and this man definitely packs it. He could definitely be the fastest unit, breaking maybe 450 speed or something crazy. That would be insane. But honestly, I don't think we need to keep bumping up the speed. That kind of just creates a vacuum where every other unit just kind of becomes obsolete, and I feel like that's the issue with Blazing PvP as a whole. But after that, I would have to say, yeah, I would love to get KCM2 Minato. While we're on the topic of KCM2, another unit that I would like to see get a Blazing Bash banner. Now, I'm pretty sure they would do this separately than Minato. They don't really bundle the Blazing Bash units together. Like I said, 3rd year anniversary I think was one of the last times, which sucks because back in the day, every Blazing Bash banner was a dual banner. Like, you had every single one like that. But I would love to get a KCM2 Naruto. Now, the only reason I really picked this is because we don't have any KCM2 Naruto, or even KCM1 Naruto for that matter, that has a Blazing Bash unit. But I already put KCM1 Naruto on the Blazing Fest list, so I would love to get a KCM2 Blazing Bash Naruto. And honestly, there's just no way they're not going to give us another Naruto or another Sasuke, and I really couldn't think of another version of Sasuke that we could be getting. So KCM2 Naruto for Blazing Bash would still be the same thing. It'd be similarly to Minato, but I feel like Minato would just be better. I mean, he has a 5 Kage League unit, he has amazing Blazing Bash versions of himself as well, so I just feel like it would be nice to get a Naruto. But honestly, I would still rather have Minato. But let's be real, they're probably going to give us a Naruto before they give us a Minato, so KCM2 Naruto would be a unit I would love to see for Blazing Bash. Now, this one's kind of a random pick, but I'm talking about my boy Hiruzen, the 3rd Hokage. This man has not gotten any love whatsoever. People have been wanting a Blazing Festival version of this dude forever, and they just don't seem to give it to us. They even gave us an emergency mission unit not too long ago of a younger Hiruzen, but nah, man, we need to get a 3rd, like, Hiruzen into the game that could be a Blazing Bash. That would be really great. But if we don't, I mean, it would hurt it even more. Like, we need a Hiruzen, we do, and they could do some really cool stuff with it. I mean, they could make it reanimated, not reanimated, it doesn't really matter. Although I feel like it would be cooler to give us an alive one, because all the old alive ones are like 4 stars. So yeah, we need a really good Hiruzen, and for PvP I think he would just fit in better than Blazing Fest. I just don't see them giving him one. But for PvP, I definitely think he would need a Blazing Bash, and I feel like a lot of people would love to see that, man, because Hiruzen is one of the most favorite Hokage of a lot of people, and just when it comes to Blazing not getting any love, it just sucks. It sucks. So yeah, I would love to get a Blazing Bash Hiruzen. Now for the next Blazing Bash unit that I would like to see, I want a Datara. Now I talked about CM2 Sasuke on the Blazing Fest one, and onto the contrary of that, I would love to get a Datara. It would be cool if it was that one, if I'm being real with you, because we don't have a Datara from that fight. We have a Datara from like almost every other era, but I would love to get a Blazing Bash Datara because he's one of the only Akatsuki that doesn't have one. I mean, even his partner Toby has a 5 Kage League unit, so there is that. And if you want to be real, Sasori also has one, although I'll be getting the Sasori in a little bit. I think Datara would be an amazing Akatsuki unit to get a Blazing Bash version of. Now this is the Super Impact one that I have, but other than that, I think he needs a decent Blazing Bash one. Like, it would just be really good to see him get one. And again, like, out of the Akatsuki, he's one of the ones that doesn't have one, and so I just think it only makes sense. Why not give this man one? And his jutsu would be kind of perfect for it as well. I think he would be a damage dealer, but it could definitely be cool to get a Blazing Bash Datara. Now when it comes to the last Blazing Bash unit that I would want, I'm gonna break it into 3 parts, and it's gonna be 3 different units, but they all have one thing in common. They're old 6-star Blazing Bash units that should get a 7-star. Now I wanted to save this part for the last because I feel like this is gonna be likely. Now with Blazing Fest, we have yet to get a 7-star aside from Kakashi, but with PvP we also have Blazing Bash Madara right here, so I think that it would be interesting to go ahead and get a 7-star. Like, I feel like this is the most likely course of action. Aside from getting a new Blazing Bash unit, they might just give us a 7-star. So Madara got one, so with that said, I feel like the other half of Madara should get one. And for those of you who don't know, who are new players or just haven't played in a while, the other side of Blazing Bash Madara was Blazing Bash Hashirama, and so I feel like Hashirama should get one. I'm surprised that he didn't, honestly. Like, I don't get why they didn't just go ahead and make both of them a Blazing Bash, but I think they just wanted to implement one. But aside from just Hashirama, I would also love to get a 7-star version of this Blazing Bash Sasori. I always loved this man for his artwork, and he's really not that great. Like, I'll be real with you, like, they picked a really good one in the case of Madara. They would really need to give us a good ability, or maybe even boost some of these, but they do add things to the 7 stars. But I think it would be really cool to get a Sasori. Like I said, with Datara, we already have a Sasori, but not an updated version, so that would go really well with Datara as well, just because they were both partners at 1.2. So I would love to go ahead and get an updated version of this Sasori right here. I think he would be a very solid choice. But after that, the probably most likely choice is another Minato, and I know I already put one on the list, but because I'm breaking this part into 3 different parts, I think it would be really nice to go ahead and get a Blazing Bash 7-star of this Minato. This is one of the best Blazing Bash units that we had back in the day, around the 2nd year anniversary. He was amazing, and a lot of people used him because of how fast he was. With 383 speed, that's really not bad. That's really not bad. If 7-star Madara could go up to being as fast as he is, this Minato would be on top of it again. He really would. And he's not a bad unit. He's really not. He even has a mobilization with wisdom, so they only need to give him like jutsu ceiling resistance, or not switch ceiling, more like chakra recovery resistance or something, and that would be solid, man. So yeah, I think it would be great to give this dude a 7-star. Out of all the ones I picked, this is probably the one I would say the most, and I think that would make a lot of people happy, just because Madara went over so well with everybody, and he's a really good 7-star. I think this Minato would be as well. So yeah, that's gonna take care of it. Let me know what you guys think about these units that we could get for the 4th year, and what Blazing Bash units would you guys want to see. I know some of them were a little bit on the random side, but we don't really have a lot of space for a lot of them left, and like I said, I don't summon on Blazing Bash that much, so it doesn't mean as much to me as Blazing Fest. But yeah, I would still like to see a lot of these units get returned into the game in newer versions, or just get a 7-star. That would be great. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.